everyone, this is Brian from ActiveMelody.com. I'm going to show you how to play everything we heard in the intro there, the solo part of the intro, note for note, and spend the next half hour or so breaking that down, so a lot of detail. The song is The Little Drummer Boy. It's a Christmas classic, and it's getting that time of year, and so I love Christmas music. I wanted to create kind of an up-tempo version of that song, and I'm playing it obviously on an acoustic guitar, although you could do this on electric as well. And so if you want the tablature and the jam track that was used, you have to go to www.activemelody.com and look for EP029. So let's take a look at the lesson. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and break down the lead that I played for The Little Drummer Boy. And this is one of those leads that actually works on its own. You could play this with no accompaniment, just on its own with one guitar, and it sounds pretty good. Now obviously the intent is for you to download the jam track and play with it that way. It's great for practice because there's a tempo and it kind of keeps you on target, and it really sounds better that way. But I want to show you what it sounds like on its own for two reasons. One, I want you to just hear that it does work on its own, but two, I want you to have this as a reference so that if you wanted to go back and watch this, you can see what it's supposed to sound like. So here we go. Let me play through it. Then it goes back and it repeats. So you can see that there's enough harmonized notes in that it actually kind of works on its own. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to start with the left hand and show you what's going on with the left hand first, and then I'll explain this palm muting thing that I'm doing with the right hand. So with the left hand, the first thing that you're playing are really two open notes. So I'm not even fretting those, and that's the strings 4 and 3. And so the challenge is going to be, especially if you're a new player, is going to be hitting just those two notes. Now obviously I'm using a pick on this. Some of the lessons I play or I teach I'm playing fingerstyle, but I'm using a pick throughout this, and it can be challenging to try and hit just two middle strings like that. So the first thing that you want to do is make sure that you can do that. So just start with trying to hit strings 4 and 3, these two, and just being able to play them over and over again like this. And really what you're doing is you're kind of digging in there on the 4th string, and you're kind of lightly raking the 3rd string as your pick leaves. And so that's challenge number 1, I guess. And if you can do that, that's great. So that's the first thing that happened. Now with the left hand, then I come up here and I play this. Let me change my angle here. What I'm doing is I'm taking my pointer finger and putting it down on the 2nd fret 3rd string, and then my middle finger goes down on the 3rd fret 4th string. So I get those two notes. And then after that, I'm going to slide everything up 2 frets, 1, 2, and keeping the shape in the same, or those two fingers in the same place, and so that my pointer finger lands on the 4th fret 3rd string, and my middle finger lands on the 5th fret 4th string. So we have, and then to do this little part, you can see that I hold the shape down, and I just take my ring finger and I come in here on the 5th fret 3rd string and I play. Then I release it, then I play it again, and then I release it. So that I get that effect. So all together, just the left hand, what we're doing is. Okay, so now let me go over the right hand and the timing of this. The timing is it's different. It's different than the way you might be familiar with a song. So the timing of this goes like this. If you want to count this out, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So what you're doing is you're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're kind of think of it that way. I think of it in like these little groups of 7, at least that first part. Now, the right hand, what I'm doing to get that palm muted effect is I take this part of my palm and I just kind of rest it on the strings here. A lot of you may be familiar with this technique already, but if you're not, that's all I'm doing really. It's just kind of somewhere back here. I'm not touching the bridge, but it's kind of back. And it just gives you this effect. The difference would be if I took away the palm, it'd sound like this. It just rings too much. And so the palm thing, even with electric guitar, it even sounds better. But that's how you get that effect. And you'll hear it on a lot of songs, you know. Any of that kind of driving, crunchy, chunky sound, that's usually played on the guitar. That's how that's created. So it's called palm muting. So those are just all downstrokes too with the right hand. So you can see no upstrokes yet until I get to this part. You can see I do. Let me try it again. There it is. I do the one upstroke there, just on that one part. So that's really all that first part is. And it repeats, so you go through it once, and then you go through it again. Now, the one thing I did do, though, is I threw in a few little licks. I wanted it to sound kind of bluesy, and I sort of made it up, to be honest, in the intro. I would do, if I were playing this somewhere, you know, either out or even for someone else, I would probably just make that up, and it would be different every time. But what I did in the intro was, between the two, is I went like this. I threw in a little bluesy thing. And what I'm doing for that, we are in the key of G, so we're playing within the G minor pentatonic scale. And I take my middle finger and ring finger, and I slide up and make this shape. I slide up to the middle finger goes down on the 6th fret 2nd string. Ring finger goes down on the 7th fret 3rd string. And so I'm playing strings 2 and 3. Those are the first two notes I play. Then I bar with my ring finger. I bar the first 3 strings on the 5th fret. But I'm only playing strings 3 and 2. Same 2 strings. Then I come down here and I bar the first 3 strings on the 3rd fret, and I do this. So I start with just strings 2 and 3, then I hammer on with my middle finger onto the 4th fret 3rd string like this. And then I take my ring finger and come down on the 5th fret 4th string. So it sounds like this. And all together, if you did that slowly, it would go. And then to round it out, I went. And so that's just coming down to the 3rd fret 4th string with my pointer finger. And then coming back and landing on the 5th fret 4th string. So all together, that little bluesy run sounds like this. And the timing is going to be the challenge. So I always say this in just about every lesson: set a metronome or tap your foot to kind of get, well, the jam track would be the best way to practice this, because it was recorded with that exact amount of space in between the 2 verses. So you can hear my foot. And then we're right back into the verse again. And this time I did something different. I went, and you can see most of what I'm playing here, in fact all of this lead, if you will, is played with two notes or two strings to give you a harmony. In fact, there's not any part of it really that I can think of, well maybe these two notes, where I'm not doubling it up. And you know, Chuck Berry was the master of that, just taking two strings, and you get so much more beef, especially on electric guitar. But okay, so the second time through, what I did there is I take my pointer finger, okay, pointer finger goes down to the 5th fret, 3rd string. Then I'm going to skip a fret and I'm going to come up here to the 7th fret with my ring finger, and I'm going to play on the 7th fret, 4th string. And I'm going to start there, I'm going to start the shape there, but I'm going to slide everything up 2 frets like this. See that? Oh. Up 2 frets. So that when I land, pointer fingers on the 7th fret, ring fingers on the 9th fret. So those are the first two things. So I slide up to there, then I go back to where I started, play that twice. Then I come down here and I play this, which is actually something we already did. If you think of the beginning, that's this shape. And so that's just, again, it's 4th fret, 3rd string with my pointer finger, 5th fret, 4th string with my middle finger. So altogether, that little part sounds like this. And then the only other thing that I do is I take my hand off the fretboard and play just strings 4 and 3, no fretting. So, and what that allows you to do by taking your hand off the fretboard and play those open strings is it allows you to get in position for the D part. So it frees your hand up and you're still making music to be able to jump to the next part. Alright, so let me go back and play everything that we've learned thus far. I'll play a little bit slower than norm. Then I come down here and I play a D chord. So for this part, I start that D part of the song by hitting a D chord. Just letting it hitting it kind of bold. And hopefully you know how to make a D. I won't show you that. You can pause the video if you have to. But so that's the D chord. Now after I hit the D chord, then I come up and play. And this is actually really easy to do. It sounds more complex than it is. And what I'm doing is I'm playing just on strings 4 and 3. I got this, what you call a drone string. So the D string just is kind of droning behind. So you can, what it sounds like if I don't fret anything, it's like this. Hear it? So the left hand, the fretting, I'm starting here on the 2nd fret, 3rd string, and I'm only playing strings 4 and 3. Then I slide up, I skip a fret and slide up to the 4th fret, 3rd string. Then I slide up to the 5th fret, 3rd string. Then I come up to the 7th fret, 3rd string. So then after that, I changed the melody slightly. The melody would typically go. And you could do it that way, just kind of walk your way back down, but I wanted to do something a little different, so I came up here like that. And what I'm doing there, this is the 7th fret, 3rd string, Again, I'm staying on the 3rd string for all of this, which is nice. Then I'm going to take my ring finger and come down on the 9th fret, 3rd string. And then as soon as I hit that note, I'm going to slide it up to the 11th fret, 3rd string. So now we're getting pretty high in the neck for an acoustic guitar with no cutaway. But you can still do it, obviously. Then I'm going to slide back to the 9th fret, and then back to the 7th fret. All of that on the 3rd string. And again, we're only playing strings 4 and 3. So that 4th string just is a drone string, is a drone D that just rings out. So now we come to this little run that goes, and that's kind of a nice little, it's almost kind of a country, maybe a pedal steel influence. But here's what I'm doing for that. I'm starting by barring the first 3 strings on the 7th fret, and I'm only going to play strings 2 and 3. So that's the first thing. Now I'm going to do a double hammer-on by hammering on my middle finger and ring finger at the same time. And I use this technique a lot, and it's really not hard to do. So what I do is I'm going to take my middle finger, it's going to come down on the 8th fret 2nd string, and my ring finger is going to come down on the 9th fret 3rd string, so that I have this little sound. You're just going to want to make sure that they're in sync, those 2 fingers, and just practice that. In 10 minutes or so, you should be able to do it. So it's just one of those things that, you know, if it's hard in the beginning, if one finger goes down before the other, just kind of keep practicing it, and it'll come to you. So after that, then we're going to slide those 2 fingers, those 2 fingers up 2 frets, holding that same shape. We're going to go up here, so that now my ring finger's on the 11th fret, 3rd string, and my middle finger is on the 10th fret, 2nd string. So we have, and then we're going to slide back to that position, which is the one we started with before the slide. Then we're going to come back to the bar again, playing only strings 2 and 3. So now we have, and then one more, I'm going to bar the first 4 strings on the 9th fret here. And I'm only going to play, this time I'm going to play strings 4 and 3 instead of 3 and 2. So what that sounds like all together is, and right after that, I take my left hand off the fretboard and come down here and fret the 3rd string on the 2nd fret, and I play again strings 4 and 3 to get that low note down there. So let me back up and I'll play the whole D part up to that point. So we have, okay, so then what happens is we play, and so for that, again, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and what I do is I play 1, 2, 3, and then the 4, for 4 I come up here and slide my pointer finger up to the 4th fret, still on the 3rd string, so we're still only playing strings 4 and 3 together. And then I'm going to slide it up one more fret to the 5th fret, still on the 3rd string. So now I'm going to do the shift so that it sounds like this. So now I'm not playing that D in that droning D part. Now I'm coming and I'm replacing that with my pointer finger. And the pointer finger is going down on the 5th fret, 4th string. And then my ring finger comes up here to the 7th fret, 3rd string. And I just play those 2 notes. So you have, and I play that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then I play, and play that little part after that. Sorry, guitar was a little out of tune there. So, okay, so let's back up. We have, and for that, I'm going to come up and bar the first 3 strings on the 5th fret, only playing strings 3 and 2, and then I'm going to hammer on, again only playing strings 3 and 2, this time I'm hammering onto the 6th fret 2nd string with my middle finger, and then I release that and I'm back to playing just fret 5. Then I'm going to bar the first 4 strings on the 7th fret, but I'm only going to play strings 4 and 3. And then I'm going to take the same concept and move it down 2 frets, barring the first 4 strings on the 5th fret, playing strings 4 and 3. So all together, that part sounds like that. Okay, so let's back up and play the whole D part up to this point. So what we have is, so you can start to hear the melody coming out pretty nicely. So it actually works, you know, even at a slower tempo. Now after that, then I play, and really sounds more difficult than it is. It's actually pretty easy to do. I take my middle finger, ring finger. I say that a lot though, don't I? And I play the first. So I play on the 5th fret here. I play strings 3 and 2, both on the 5th fret, and that's how that looks with my left hand. Then I come down and I shift, I take my ring finger off the fretboard, move my middle finger down 1 fret, so now it's on the 4th fret 3rd string, and I put my pointer finger down on the 3rd fret 2nd string like that. Again, only playing strings 3 and 2. Now we're going to take that shape and slide it down 2 frets. And then we're going to take our fingers off the fretboard. For every one of those 4 steps, 1, 2, 3, 4, I was playing strings 3 and 2. So, and what I did there too was I didn't strum each one. When I hit this one, I slid it down to give you kind of a, I don't know, a slide effect. You could pick it. It would sound like this. I just thought it sounded better to kind of let it happen more organically, I guess. Okay, so we have and then I take my ring finger and I come up here to the 3rd fret 2nd string and I play again strings 3 and 2. This time the G string is ringing out with the 3rd string. So I'm only fretting 1 note. The guitar's a little out of tune. There we go. Then I'm going to come down and play the 1st fret 2nd string. So we have those 2. Then I'm going to take my hand off the fretboard and play again strings 3 and 2. So now we have, and then the final note is to take my pointer finger and come down here to the 3rd string on the 2nd fret and play strings 4 and 3. Now the 4th string is obviously the open D, so it sounds like this. So what that part sounds like is, so altogether that last little part sounds like this. And then there's one final part which goes like this. back to the loop. So all I'm doing there, I'm just walking up all on the 3rd string. Start on the 2nd fret, then I go up to the 4th fret, then up to the 5th fret. Again, only playing strings 4 and 3, and walk it back down. And then take your hand off the fretboard, and now you're back in position to start the whole thing over again. So that last little bit is... Now you could do a lot of other things to come back. You could go, in fact, I was toying with the idea of going, you know, something like that, just kind of walking all the way up and then back down. Play around with it and have fun, but that's what I did in the intro. So there's really, that's all the parts. Let me play through all of the D part now, so that you have that. In fact, you know what? Why don't I just do the whole thing? I'll do it slowly so you have a slow version of it. So here we go. So there you go, a little sloppy at the very end. But yes, that's Little Drummer Boy. And I think that the thing to really pay attention to that'll give it, especially if you're playing it without any accompaniment, is the little nuances, like hear how it's I'm keeping the palm muted thing going, but I'm also kind of really emphasizing those parts where I'm playing the melody like this. So I'm playing it loud, then I'm backing off, and it's that, you know, that's the stuff that really makes your playing sound good. So if you just played it robotically, you know, it just doesn't have the same feeling or the same emotion really as it does if you know when to kind of make it loud or bright and then when to back off. And that's really just a matter of taste. So well, that's it. That's all there is to Little Drummer Boy. I hope you've enjoyed that one. As always, if you like me on Facebook, that's an easy way to know when I have new lessons. I'm always announcing it there. So it's facebook.com/activemelody. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/activemelody. So that's all I have for this one. We'll see you in the next lesson.